Usually, I don't really make any videos about drama in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It's a series where this stuff, in my opinion, is somewhat normal, and I think drivers need to move through. It's a lot of young drivers moving their way up, and they gotta learn different ways. I respect that. It's similar to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as well as ARCA. Both series have their place, and this is the same thing for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But the finish to this race and the aftermath of it have me questioning a few things when it comes in particular to Richard Childress racing. Childress has had an up and down year in the Xfinity Series, and it's ended up on a down note. So first off, I want to go through a couple things, interviews and clips, and then kind of see what exactly happened and is going on. First off, the finish.
Hill on the inside, Creed on the outside, back to the gas they go. Way up the racetrack goes Hill. Creed into the back of the 21. He doesn't push him up high enough, but here he comes. He gets to the inside. The white flag's in the air. One more time around. The 7 got into the wall. Now Creed pushing the 21 up the racetrack. They're side by side. Creed has to win to make it into the championship 4. He's never won in the Xfinity Series. They smoked the tires. Here comes the 7. Contact made. The 7 of Allgaier on the inside. Creed, Allgaier's going to win in Martinsville.
So first off, I'm just going to say now, I don't think anyone really did anything too wrong with the finish itself. Everybody that was in that picture had a reason to go for the win, and it would affect their career in a huge way. Whether it was going for a championship or just getting another win to solidify themselves in the series. And I'd say the same thing about Hill and Creed. They both were going after that spot, and they didn't make it. Both are out. RCR is now out of championship contention in every series at this point. And at that point, I really don't think anything could really be made too much of it. It's not like Gibbs last year, where Ty Gibbs moved Brandon Jones, even though one had a shot at the championship while the other was locked in. It was nothing like that whatsoever. It was, for the most part, fair. It's the aftermath that I have the biggest problem with. And Creed's not coming back. He has no reason to help Hill in any way, in my opinion. See, the problem with the aftermath is that you have a lot of drama all pointed at one person, and it's pretty clear that none of them like that person and are airing their dirty laundry out in public at this point. And yeah, a lot of people do this, but you don't see this in a professional level in very many areas. You don't see it in NASCAR very much at all, but you also don't see it in any other major sports league for the most part, or at least not on a regular basis. It's up front just tacky as hell. So, first off, here's a clip of Hill clapping at the 2 team. I think it's childish, but it's not overboard. It's what happens to Sheldon Creed on pit road. First off, with Andy Petree. Now, first off, I do want to say I respect the fact that Creed actually stood up for himself. He didn't allow himself to get run over by Petree, and he actually brought up a point that a lot of people are talking about, and the subsequent clips and quotes will show you, I think actually support this even more. Creed had said basically that had Hill done this, there would be nothing done if it were the other way around. And in a lot of ways, I would usually say, yeah, okay, or ignore it or whatever. A lot of people always say there's favoritism but never bring proof. Well, there's a difference. First off, you have what Austin Hill told Bob Pockrass.
I mean, I know Sheldon has to win to get in, but I mean, at least give me a chance. Didn't feel like I was given a chance. And then when he got shoved up the racetrack or whatever happened, I haven't seen the replay getting into 3, but whenever he went up the racetrack, he just parked it in the center of the corner and blew the radiator out of it. So I had no power coming off 4, and that's why I wrecked. So I cannot wait for him to get out of RCR. Can't wait to have Jesse Love as a teammate. Maybe he'll work better with me. Just cannot wait for him to get over to Joe Gibbs Racing. I don't have to put up with this shit anymore.
Now, I think this is a bit over the line. I get that you don't like your teammate, I get that you guys have problems and there's a lot of emotion going every which way, but it's not like he did anything egregious. He didn't wreck you into turn one, he didn't screw you over on purpose. It was either a mistake or he needed to gather up his car, a racing deal in any sense of the word. But then you have what he's saying here, he's airing dirty laundry out again, which to me is just so tacky. Again, I will keep saying it, it's tacky. And with that, you have, I think, a culture being set here. RCR in a lot of ways has been associated with this kind of stuff in general for a long time. You can look back to the days of Mike Skinner being teammates with Dale Earnhardt, and there'd be people saying, oh, they're favoring Earnhardt. You have the end of the Kevin Harvick era over at RCR, where a lot of people, Harvick included, were saying that the Dillon brothers were being favored by Richard Childress, obviously so in a lot of ways because of them being his grandchildren, but still, a lot of people kind of rolled their eyes at it. Maybe some would go with it, but still, it's something that now is twice happening. But now this is a pattern over the last 30 or so years of constant accusations of favoritism by people of this team. And then to put the cherry on top of all of it, to punctuate it home, you have what Richard Childress said over on NBC Sports. See, Dustin Long wrote an article, and Childress would tell NBC Sports, quote, "I've had drivers drive for me before, but nobody as stupid as Sheldon Creed. You don't do that as a team player. What else do you want me to tell you?" Well, this is what I would want someone to tell me if I were Sheldon Creed. You can go a week early if you want, or you don't have to show up, because I feel like Creed at this point is getting just dogpiled on by the people who should be at his team to the very end. You had all of what went on last year with Joe Gibbs Racing, but I think as a team, organization, everything in general, this is so much worse. What does that show you to the rest of the industry? And maybe a lot of people feel this way about Sheldon Creed. I don't know. I don't have that insider info. But what does it show you if you're a potential driver going over there? That it's so clearly now, after the drama that's happened this year, so clearly shown that Austin Hill is the favorite among those at Richard Childress Racing, and they basically treated Sheldon Creed like chopped liver. At this point, I don't even get why Creed would want to show up for them anymore, except if the guys on the 2 team were behind him. Because when the owner himself is saying that kind of stuff, in my opinion, it shows not only to those in the industry, but a lot of people like me, fans of the sport on the outside, it shows a toxic environment. Why would I want to go somewhere where the culture is that bad that they're going on NBC and telling people how bad everything is and how much they don't like you and want you gone? That, to me, is just over the line. And in my opinion, if a team has that kind of poisonous atmosphere, it's not going to be successful in the long term. And what's even worse about it to me is that RCR came into this year with so much momentum. You had Kyle Busch coming over there, the first generational talent to be there since a Dale Earnhardt, or you could even argue maybe a Kevin Harvick. And they went out and won a couple races. But ever since that point at the start, maybe middle of the season, RCR in general has just seemed to be more and more in a downward spiral. And at this point, I just got to ask, what is going on at RCR? What is making it this way? Because it does hurt seeing a historic team like this go down this route. But that's all I got to say. I usually don't make videos in the Xfinity Series, but there was just too much here to pass up talking about. So I want to know what you think now in the comments down below. Do you think that RCR is treating Sheldon Creed unfairly, or do you think that it's just heat of the moment and should be excused? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and until next time, have a good one.